As the Helldivers continue to put up a fight against the vile Terminid in the name of Super Earth, we find ourselves rapidly pushing towards the outer rims of the galaxy and deeper into Terminid space. The Terminid monstrosities are evolving, and more complex, higher difficulty operations demand efficient loadouts to make dealing with these threats swift. There are so many options to choose from in the Helldivers arsenal already, and that's only going to keep growing in time. But I must admit, I think I've come across a pretty good build for higher level difficulty operations that I just have to share with you all. G'day there once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today folks, I want to share with you all my go-to bug smacking loadout in Helldivers 2 right now, and simply give you all a rundown as to how this thing can give you the edge as you start creeping up those difficulty levels. So, just as we get into the video a little here today, guys, I did want to make one thing abundantly clear. This video is not meant to come across as a meta statement or a comment saying that this is the best loadout out there for everyone. While I do believe that metas will always exist in games, and it's something I want to discuss in a future video very soon, this is just a fun build that I've been running around with lately and really enjoying, and something that I wanted to share. This video is not here to discredit your favorite builds, and in fact, I welcome you all to share your favorite loadouts in the comment section down below, or swing by our Twitch streams to share it there. I always love hearing about how you lot are spreading managed democracy, and I'm kinda keen to give your builds a go in the future as well. But overall, I just hope that today, this video goes as far as to give another player out there a new build that they can run in their bug operations, and maybe help them out in the process. We are all meant to be working together after all, there's just simply no need to gatekeep builds, you know? Now ultimately, the build is as per follows: the LAS-16 Sickle, the P4 Senator, the G16 Impact Grenade, the AX-LAS-5 Guard Dog Rover, the EAT-17 Expandable Anti-Tank, the Eagle 500 kg Bomb, and the Orbital Rail Cannon Strike. And if that's all you're here for with this video, you can stop the video right here. I appreciate you guys clicking on, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. But if you're keen to get some tips and tricks on how to apply it all in an effective way and in synergy of one another, we're going to go through all of that here with some extra depth as well, so stick around if that's what you're looking for. But before we go too far, let's talk to the rationale, the thinking behind how this loadout was built, right? The bugs represent a unique challenge in the sense that they are very prone to swarming you with high counts of squishier enemies at high difficulties, while also throwing significantly well-armored targets into the mix just to, you know, completely throw you off. Given how melee focused they are as a faction and how they're going to rapidly try and close the gap on you as well, rocking explosives as a primary deterrent to deal with the masses that you face is gonna get pretty messy at times, leading to a lot of friendly fire incidents, or simply you killing yourself with your own explosives. Basically yeeting yourself into the Shadow Realm by proximity of trying to kill the bugs. So we find ourselves at a point where we need some degree of flexibility in the kit. You know, something that can react quickly to larger scale threats as they emerge, while also having multiple options for dealing with those large scale threats as you deal with the cooldowns, but also having the ability to lay down a lot of fast-paced hurt to deal with the smaller creepy crawlies. And to get the ball rolling, that's where our primary weapon comes into play. And look, based on my last video, this really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that we're rocking the LAS-16 Sickle. As previously mentioned, this thing is a true king at delivering red-hot freedom and democracy to those who oppose Super Earth. Sporting ample damage with a really high rate of fire, it's insanely effective at mowing down hordes of lightly armored targets without as much as a blink. The laser point accuracy and near zero recoil of the thing also does make it a demon for targeting weak points on hive guards while they're in their defensive position. And when it comes to hunters, scavengers, and warriors, the improved accuracy and the insane uptime gives the weapon an insane amount of efficiency in those higher difficulty levels. From a primary weapon perspective, it's just amazing. Given that you can go through an entire mission without never really needing to reload the heatsink if you manage it well, yeah, you very much get an old reliable in dealing with the squishy spam with the Sickle. But as far as general uptime and DPS is concerned, I feel like we can do just a tad better here. And look, what's better than one energy weapon? Well, too, of course, and it's even better when it comes in the form of a companion that you don't even need to control. Introducing our good friend, the AX LAS5 Guard Dog Rover, the laser cannon hovering good boy that's just around to do his absolute bestest in spreading managed democracy alongside his Helldiver master. Now, look, sometimes his bestest involves just scorching your teammates on the odd occasion, and look, I get that there are traitors in our midst, but sometimes the little fella gets it wrong, okay? But no. When he works as intended and isn't confused by PTSD-induced fog of war, my god is he the Helldiver's equivalent of man's best friend here. The amount of times this little bastard has saved me on higher difficulty bug missions is incredible. And when you on occasions combine the firepower from your sickle with where the guard dog is shooting, it actually makes for a very potent combo that absolutely melts weaker units. It just adds an extra gun to the squad for free, and in situations where you're going to be copping a lot of pressure from many angles, it's a goddamn brilliant addition to have to any squad. Seriously, on the bugs, the guard dog is an S tier stratagem and just a very, very good boy. Now so far, we've got a lot of gear that is heavily DPS focused, you know? Dropping a lot of damage over prolonged distances and just aiming to squish a lot of the smaller shit, you know? But as we know, there are the big chungoose bugs for us to face off against as well, and that's where the rest of the loadout kinda comes into play here. In our grenade slot, we are rocking the G16 impact grenades. Now, obviously, these things are fantastic for dealing with bug holes and for dispersing large groups of smaller enemies. But in my view, they are really here for the bile spewers of the mix. Basically, our good friends who have clearly spent far too much time out on the town and are just chundering all over the place at a record pace. While yes, some well-placed headshots with the circle can make short work of these buggers, a well-tossed impact grenade near these guys' sacks will actually lead to an instant kill more often than not. So when you've got a bunch of these guys in close proximity, one of these nades is going to take a lot of pressure off the squad. But alright, let's now focus on the big stuff here. The EAT-17 expendable anti-tank, the Eagle 500kg bomb, and the orbital rail cannon strike fill out the rest of my slots here. And well, to make one thing clear here, the EAT-17 has been a no-brainer for me since it got balanced against charges, being able to one-shot them with a well-placed headshot. That kind of efficiency is just something that should not go unnoticed. It lets you completely wipe the floor with what would otherwise be a very frustrating enemy type to deal with, which lets you turn your attention to other higher priority targets quickly. 110% worth its place on the roster for that reason alone. But on top of that, you get 2 launches per drop, and the stratagem is on a shorter end cooldown as well. So unless you are well and truly up shit creek without a paddle, you are always going to have one of these on hand ready to go more often than not. Outside of dealing with charges, you can also use one of these bad boys to soften up a bile titan to be finished off by a rail cannon strike, or to quickly snipe spawn spewers and illegal broadcast towers from afar, which again on those higher difficulty missions where mission timing is not exactly in your favor, that's a significant bit of efficiency that goes a long way. And once again, the short cooldown time means that you don't have to feel guilty about using one of these things on a side objective like that either. You'll have it ready to go when you need it again pretty quickly. Now, speaking of the rail cannon strike, this thing has also saved me more times than I care to admit. Bile Titans are one of the biggest pains in the asses that you can come across in high difficulty Helldivers 2 matches, and well, having the ability to take one out swiftly without needing to even spend the time aiming or looking at the weak point is such a luxury to have. And for that reason, my rail cannon strikes are almost exclusively reserved for Bile Titans with this loadout, unless I have a particularly frustrating charger that's on my ass with no EATs available. Now, unfortunately, it's not always a confirmed kill on a Bile Titan when you hit them with a rail cannon strike, but it definitely tends to weaken them up a bit to the point where a well-placed EAT round will finish the job, or even expose some fleshy parts wherein which small arms damage can finish the job. But out of my whole loadout here, this is the stratagem that I am most picky with when it comes to using, and it's critical that you are communicating with your team to ensure that you don't put it to waste. Is that Bile Titan about to be knocked out by something else? Or do you have something else that may be able to finish the job where you can save the rail cannon strike for a more urgent matter? There's nothing worse than a wasted rail cannon strike, and it can completely kill your operation and your momentum as a team. So be very careful and picky when wielding this bad boy. And last, but certainly not least, I would almost be remiss if we didn't have at least one appearance from Eagle, my beloved, in this loadout. And look, as far as the application of this stratagem to the battlefield goes, the world is really your oyster with this one in my view. Want to send a letter to a large group of hostiles with the comments of "to whom it may concern"? Yeah, Eagle 500 kg. Want to soften up a Bile Titan or get a well-placed bomb right into its mouth? Yep, Eagle 500 kg. Want to knock out a collection of tightly clustered bug hives? Yeah, Eagle 500 kg. You get the idea. At the higher difficulty levels, this thing is very much a general use airstrike that can be a true blessing when applied to the right enemy types and situations. I must admit here though, your mileage will very much be improved by having a fully upgraded Eagle Strike Bay on your Super Destroyer, which gives you an additional run per Eagle resupply and reduces the cooldowns between resupplies as well, which is really quite helpful. Regardless, this is a loadout that's designed to give you ample opportunity to deal with a variety of threats while not requiring a huge amount of management when it comes to your inventory. It's a build that has an answer to all of the threats that the bugs can throw at you in some capacity, all of which are on rotating cooldowns of varying length. It also sports a primary weapon that is one of the most ammo efficient weapons in the game right now, completely disconnecting you from a chance of being tied down to resupply beacons and needing to get ammo back on board. That's of course with the exception of grenades and stims, of which you can find on the battlefield through side objectives as well. There's a lot to be said for how the build operates and how it synergizes across multiple threats and other builds in the game too. Oh yeah, and look, I almost forgot to mention the Senator pick for our secondary weapon slot here. In all honesty folks, this thing was simply picked because, well, it's cool. I figured I at least get one exclusively rule of cool pick on the loadout here, and it damn well satisfies. You're probably better off taking the machine pistol instead, but in this particular situation, I don't particularly care too much. It's a revolver, I get to smack bugs with it. I'm pretty happy bringing my big iron from time to time. But folks, there you have it. That is my go-to bug-killing loadout on higher difficulty Helldivers 2 missions at the moment. If you guys enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, hit the like button as it does go a long way to supporting the channel, and let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite bug-killing loadouts are right now. I am planning on doing a similar video for the automatons as well, and you can bet your bottom dollar that I'll be doing more loadouts as more gear comes available to Helldivers in the future. As always, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and come follow us over on our Twitch channel for some more live stream content as well. It'd be great to have you guys there too. Once again guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care guys, have a good one.